In today's episode, this one has a sensitive subject warning. Not anything that you want to listen to with small children around. Pop the headphones in. This is for you only. Pages from my diary. This is the episodes where I'll begin sharing some of the pages, some of my deepest thoughts that I don't want anyone to know, but sharing them with you in hopes that maybe you'll grow and it'll shortcut some of the learning experiences that you've had. I think some of the things I've learned, it's taken me a lot longer, maybe because I'm stubborn, maybe because I feel like I really want to get this. So let me just experience the hardest things a few times. The one that I want to talk about is suicide. It's impacted me and my family. We've had people in our family that have decided that this life was too incredibly challenging for them. I hope this episode can be maybe a voice for some of the people too that wrestle with these things and these thoughts. It can give you a different perspective or maybe more compassion and help alleviate any of the guilt that you might inadvertently feel, because it was never about you at all. It was about the things they were experiencing in their life, and they somehow thought that living on the other side was going to be easier than everything that they were enduring here. I've heard some people minimize it and they say suicide ideation. Like it's something cute that someone picked up just for funsies, or it was something that they learned on TikTok videos or whatever it might be, and they decided that, I'm just going to fall in love with this concept. That's sarcasm, by the way. Hopefully it'll just give you a different perspective. This is only going to be audio only. It won't be one that I publish like the others with video, probably because there are times when I'm going to be crying and talking at the same time, or pausing to capture my breath and not able to talk. And I laugh out of nervousness. The deep breath. For some reason, I felt compelled this morning when I was writing in the pages of my diary that I'm giving you a sneak peek with, that I noticed something told me, it was just maybe a whisper from God that said it's been at least a year. The first time I ever put a date on my calendar where I thought, I'm just going to walk into the ocean or whatever it might be. And this is the day that I won't have to endure the pain, the hurt, the lessons, the guilt, the shame, all of the ways that I was punishing myself for self-sabotaging. Putting that date on the calendar, it wasn't anything that I told friends about. There were some people close to me where I said, I'm not in a good place right now, but it's been at least a year. A quiet 1-year anniversary that I didn't even notice passed by. A year that I secretly marked a date on my calendar that no one knew about. They watched me smile, they watched me laugh, and I continued day to day with clients. I didn't withdraw, not in big ways, maybe the small ways, but they weren't noticed. I still answered and exchanged text messages, still had conversations on the phone, but inside I was crushed. Didn't know how to deal with the things that were incredibly hard. Now that I look back on it and think, okay, going through all of those hard things builds the foundation. It builds the relationship that I have with God, not in the religious way of this whimsical of let go and let Jesus, instead finding and digging into the depths where it's only me and God, where it's just the two of us. Then I realized that God is within me. When everything was going fantastic, I was just boopity-booping around life and wasn't as mindful of taking the pause of starting my day with God and ending my day with God. But when I had the date on the calendar and they say, well, as long as you don't figure out the how, then you probably really won't do it. But I also had the how. I had the 3 different ways, because 3 different times on my calendar I'd move the date. And there's another story to that too, a little bit about moving the dates around and whatnot, thinking, oh, this will be the day that I just walk into the ocean when it's whatever, when no one will find me. But again, it's those quiet moments we find out who we really are. What was the thing that pushed me over the edge where I thought, yep, okay, I'm done with this one. Try again in the next lifetime. But then I laugh because I'm like, oh my God, it sounds terrifying to think I would have to begin again and start all over. So part of me thinks, well, might as well just muscle through this one. Learn how to do the hard things. Learn how to heal the hard things. And it wasn't anyone's fault. I thought too, if I did this, I wasn't going to leave a note because I didn't want people that were left behind to feel guilt. So I didn't want to leave anyone notes. I thought about maybe I'll write these letters out to them and tell them how much I love them, how much I care about them. But would they read it and feel guilt? Would they read it and dismiss it and think, well, she was selfish, she didn't love us very much? But it's not really about the other people. It's not about the ones that are left behind. That doesn't come into the equation, and it's two separate things. Loving someone deeply in our life and going through our own challenges, those are two separate things. So I moved the date on my calendar, and I thought, okay, this will be my last day here in Earth School. And when I moved it, I just allowed myself just to focus on the day, each day, one day at a time, one moment at a time, and really being present. Some of my friends say, you are so good at being present. I think it helps to notice all the beauty around us. It's to notice the sunrise, to notice the sunset. And then I've seen the dark skies in New Mexico and Chaco Canyon, and I've seen more stars than you can't even count them with the naked eye. It's just so incredibly beautiful. The blanket of stars in the dark sky that also brought tears to my eyes. There's so much incredible beauty around us. Knowing that it could have been the last sunrise or it could have been the last sunset, because it wasn't about those things. It was finding within myself, digging deep and finding the enough, or finding the duality and being okay with not being okay, and using the expectation and knowing with certainty that I know things are going to get better. And when it starts to feel wavering and feels like it's not true, that's also a lie. It's something that the devil wants, or a way for discouragement to creep in when we're overthinking. In those moments, I have to be incredibly careful of not to look at the past with guilt and shame or mistakes made, not to look at the present where there are people in my life that aren't being very kind. They're going through their own Earth School lessons and whatever challenges that might be. Instead, I have to look inward and find, who am I as a woman, and what do I stand for, and who am I? And when my identity shifted, it's the identity of motherhood shifted, me being a mom shifted, me being in corporate America, that shifted. Some of the friends that I've had recovering from divorce, all the things that I used that were just experiences, and I misunderstood them as my identity. When the ground began to shift underneath me with each one of those pieces of the puzzle changing, and there was nothing, I felt like there was nothing left, because there wasn't. It's because I was looking outward. It was the Mercedes that I bought myself because I love cars. I'm one of those women that absolutely loves cars, and I love beautiful cars, and I love fast cars and nice cars, and I've had those things, and I didn't post them online because it wasn't about other people seeing it. It was for me. It wasn't the performance for someone else. It was me and something that I love. However, when you take all of the things away and the parts and pieces, then we get to reshape our identity or remember the truth of who we are, because those things are just experiences. It's the opportunity I've had to drive the luxury cars that I've bought myself, and really not even taking pictures along the way of not noticing them. The moments that I thought I was saving for, a special occasion, not taking the pictures, not enjoying them, or And it's a balance because sometimes I don't take pictures because I'm so incredibly appreciating the moment that I don't even want to be distracted by my phone screen. There are times when I've saved wine that cost hundreds of dollars a bottle, and to some people, that's not that expensive. Get wine that's thousands of dollars, or to someone else, they think a $3 bottle of wine tastes the same as a $50, $500, or $5,000 bottle. To them, it does. The point being that I saved these bottles of wine. I had like 6 or 8 of them that I'd saved for special occasions, and I moved them from place to place and didn't take very good care of them, of making sure that they were in the proper place, controlling the temperature. When I finally opened a bottle of wine with one of my girlfriends, we're going to open this really nice bottle of wine just because. We had the charcuterie board all set up, beautiful, and it had the honeycomb, and it had the, the cheese and the meats and the fruits and all the beautiful things. We were outside on the patio with the hummingbirds and thinking, oh, we'll just celebrate just because it's time with girlfriends. And opened up the bottle of wine, pour it into our glass, and it tasted like vinegar. It was not fantastic at all. It was awful. Pouring it down the sink and letting it be a reminder of, these are like the stories where people say, I saved the lingerie to wear it for a special occasion. And then that special occasion never came, and it sat in the drawer until someone passed away. It's like, what are we doing? Who says we need to wait for a special moment? Why can't each of the moments be special? Why can't we make them exactly the way we want them to be? When I was writing in my diary this morning, I noticed it's been 1 month and 11 days since the last time I put a date in my calendar where I thought, okay, again, this is my last day. And God put a few things in my life that kept me busy for a few weeks out when I was putting things on my calendar and events were coming up. I just laughed and said, okay, I see what you're doing here. You're trying to distract me and give me things to look forward to keep moving forward. Writing it in my journal today, thinking it's been a year since I've written that for the first time. However, it's been 1 month and 11 days since the last time I've had that date in my calendar. Today I made the decision, no more. I'm not putting that date in my calendar again, never ever again. There's a way where I get to hold the duality of things get to be challenging without me overthinking. Things get to be challenging, and I get to know with certainty that good things are coming. And I look at it as the woman that all of the things that I desire and want, they're meant for me. Otherwise, I would not have the desire for them. Other people, their dreams are different than mine. I don't have any desire to do the things they do. My dream is meant for me. And the things that I'm dreaming about, the desires that I have, the things that are on my vision board, the things that I literally dreamt about last night that I see coming in my life, I get to know with certainty that it's coming. The most incredible part of it is all of the hard things and having everything ripped out of my life and experiencing those dark, deep moments. It gives me more compassion and empathy for people that go through those things. It gives me compassion for the people that choose out and say, not in this lifetime. This lifetime, I'm done. They take a different way out, but their energy lives on forever. We can talk about that in the channeling that I do in my mediumship, because I have the gift of reading the energy from people that have passed on. I give very specific messages in my channeled readings and mediumship, but that's another pages from my diary episode. But I wonder the point, what is it besides sharing my deepest, darkest, vulnerable secrets? One of them. I have others. I'll share them later. They're not as heavy, don't worry. I think the lessons that I learned from this were, it gives me extreme compassion for people that go through challenging times. It gives me empathy. And I know when I coach people in my one-on-one coaching, rather than saying, oh, I read someone else's post and I regurgitated it, or I read about this theory in a book. Instead, it's, nope, here's another experience where I've lived it and I've experienced it. I hope that it can just be a gift to someone else, that it can help shorten their learning experience, that it can help soften the pain or some of the challenges so that they don't have to stay down for so long. Sometimes we get those gut punches that we just feel doubled over by. It really is a game of how quickly can we get up. When I do get up, the difference is to still keep a soft heart about it. The life experiences, they're not meant to harden me. They're not meant to give me a rigid point of view or shut me off from the world. Instead, it's how can I appreciate things and love deeper? How can I live bolder? How can I live with courage? How can I live life fully expressed? That's the beauty and the gifts that can come out of this, some of them. And I feel like there are going to be a lot more that will continue to reveal themselves. Today, I decided also too, after I was crying and journaling this morning, and I realized, I was like, God, why am I crying about this again? It was more of a contemplation, not so much being hard on myself, like pull up your big girl panties, figure this out. It was more seriously contemplating, what are we doing tonight? Thinking, what do I want to release? What do I want to let it go down like water in the drain? It was in that moment I realized, like, I just want to draw a line in the sand that I did. No more thinking about that. No more of putting that option on the table. No more of crying about that. Because why would I want to look backwards? Why would I want to overthink and punish myself for the self-sabotage? I mean, I could blame my upbringing. Well, maybe my dad punched me in the face too many times when I was a little girl. But also too, I don't want to blame anyone. Or I could say, oh, this is the person that threw me over the edge. What am I doing? Instead, it's, for me personally, when challenging things happen, how can I either set up the learning lesson from it and it just understand that it helps shape who I am as an individual. You know, people are constantly teaching me, yes, I want to more of this in my life and less of that in my life. I think, you know, when people say, oh, you know, they were following a particular guru and whatever was revealed, the way that I look at it is we don't need to be outsourcing our power anyways. So if you were following a guru and you felt misled by them, the question would be, why would we give so much of our power to someone else anyways? Why would we put them on a pedestal? I think if anyone puts me on a pedestal, I'm probably going to fall off one day. I don't even want to be on a pedestal either. You know, I've had friends tell me, you know, when I was accomplishing the most in my life, they would tell me, you're one of the most determined, brilliant, and ambitious women that I know and accomplished. But I don't want to be on that pedestal. If we put people on a pedestal, the only place they can go is down. But instead, when we stand beside people, we're shoulder to shoulder with them. We stand in our power, they stand in their power, and that's where the magic happens. The depths of all the things that I experienced this last year. And when I look at it, it's the foundation to the pyramids in Egypt that have stood for hundreds or thousands of years. Once the foundation's there and it is solid, life can be built on top of that. All of the hard things have proven to me that I can live through hard things. It really makes me fearless on a whole nother level. I thought I was fearless being a single parent, raising 3 boys. I thought, yeah, there pretty much isn't anything that I'm ever afraid of, because all I knew how to do was to be self-sufficient and take care of things, handle it, move forward, create big things. That's the only thing I knew how to do. However, the difference was when I was doing it at that time, it was doing it out of survival versus now I get to do it out of alignment and out of desire of what are the things that I want to create. Not because I'm ever proving myself or not because this is, following the script. Instead, it's what do I deeply desire? Now I get to go play and create those things. It's the arc of the movie where you see the character fall on their face. I think that's what it's been in this part of my life. If you are going through that too, of just know that the best stories that heroes have, they have those moments where it seems like it's not going to get better. But remember, every great movie, that's the arc of the movie. That's where when it starts to take that upturn, that's when the beauty starts to happen. And just trust that there really is something so incredibly beautiful waiting for you on the other side of this. One other thing too that I wanted to mention, if you've had someone that decided to take their life, of letting them off the hook, I think it's a lie when people say they were selfish to do that. Well, not really. It wasn't about you. I mean, are we calling them selfish because they took something from us? Oh, you're selfish. You took that from me. You took another birthday or another anniversary or whatever it may be. It was never about you. If we can let them off the hook and just know that they did the best they could. And also too, if you've known someone like that, you did the best you could too. They have a different story that they get to experience and their energy is still here. We can still talk with them. If you don't believe in that, disregard it. It's like trying on a shirt. When you listen to a podcast or someone that's teaching, there are bits and pieces that you may not like. Look at it like trying on a shirt. If you go into Nordstrom and there's a shirt that you put it on and it doesn't fit you well and you just, you take it off and then you try on the other shirt. But you don't get pissed off and run out of this store and I'm never going back to Nordstrom again. No, who fucking cares? The shirt, you didn't like it, don't buy it. Same thing with mentors or podcasts or teachers or coaches, someone that we learn from. We take the pieces that we like and we leave the rest. It means nothing. The invitation would be find the people that you enjoy learning from. When you learn things, take it and implement them. The other learning piece I had out of this too is to just know with certainty that your desires are meant for you. They're coming. They're coming for you. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not happening. We really get to trust in the process that it is happening. We're being created, we're being developed to be able to hold those things. It's like a tapestry of a divine thread is the way that I look at it. All of the threads, all of the pieces and parts make up who we are. If we pulled out one of those threads and said, nope, I don't like this one, when we pull it, the whole dress could fall apart. Instead, we look at it and think, it's part of the tapestry, part of the fabric of who I am as a man or a woman. Finding the ways for you to find strength in yourself, to remember the strength within you. If God is something that has been misused or is triggering or a word that you don't agree with, find something that does. Maybe it's nature. Maybe it's the power of the universe, the power within that you're going to find. Finding what it is in the center of you and knowing that you are the center of all creation, that's the remembering. The remembering is the power comes from within. It's not the right teacher. It's not the right answers. And the beautiful thing about going through the incredibly hard things of life, I thought it's good. It means that I know I can go through the hardest things and I know that it will be okay. The other thing I've learned from this too, I know that I'm resilient. There's also a part, okay, I don't have to catch myself on fire just so I have another Phoenix Rising story. I think I'm all done with those. I'm all done with the self-sabotage. I didn't even know about Chiron return until this year when I went through this hardest time of my entire life. Looking that up, Chiron return. The depths of what I've experienced, I haven't met anyone else that had it to the degree that I did. I think about the slingshot theory. Things go down that far. The slingshot means all of the good that is more is waiting for me on the other side of this. So look up the slingshot theory. That's something in quantum physics or maybe manifesting. I'm not sure where I remember reading about the slingshot theory. But it's true when it pulls so incredibly down, and then it's okay, great. Now I'm waiting on the other side of it. Maybe I'm mid-launch. In this middle part, I'm going to enjoy the ride and no more of playing the game. That option is off the table. I've done too many wild and crazy and amazing fun things in my life. There's so many more stories to be written. What if we believe the best is yet to come?